Hello students, this is Dr. Ruchi Tripathi, a facilitator. Today we'll be talking about consumer buying decision process. I shall explain the whole process to you by taking the example of a washing machine, right? So before we start, we need to understand that what do we mean by consumer behavior. Consumer behavior can be said to be the study of how individuals make decisions on how to spend their available resources like their time, money and effort on various consumption related items. So we answer the following questions while we try to understand the behavior of the consumer, that who would purchase the product or service, how do they buy the product or services, from where will they purchase them, how often do they purchase them, when do they buy them, why do they buy them, how often do they buy them, right? So these questions, they help in understanding better what factors influence the decision making process of the consumer. Now the decision making process identifies the number of people who are involved in this process, and they describe several roles which people play in this whole decision making process. Before starting, I would discuss the roles that are played by people. Now this is the process which I was talking about. It is basically a 6-step process, or you can say a 5-step process, right? So I was talking about the roles. If I talk about the buying roles, it is a big task before the marketer to identify the target buyers of the particular new product. So the marketer has to know who makes the buying decisions for a particular product category, right? So very often most of the purchase decisions involve decision making unit which comprise of more than one person. So as you know, even if you take any kind of decision at home, most of the time you are not only the person who decide everything. There are many people involved in it and they play different roles. So the marketer has to understand the role of various people involved in the decision making process. Now the person involved, they can play either of these roles. Like we can have the initiator. Initiator is a person who is the first to suggest or think of the idea of purchasing a product or the service. Then we have the influencer, the person who has influence, whose views or advice is given weightage while taking the final decision. Then there is a decider, the person who finally takes the decision or whether to buy the product, what to buy, how to buy, and from where to buy. And then we have a buyer also, the person who actually buys the product, or you can say who has the purchasing power. That can be the head of the family, obviously, right? And the user, the person who is using the product or who makes the use or consumes the product or service, can be the user. Now when I start with the first thing, the first step, I have taken the example of a middle class family. There's a middle class family who lives in a metro city, and it is expected that the monthly income of that family is basically 40,000 rupees. It is just an example, right? So the need of this family is the family, the person who works at home, that can be your mother, your sister, or anybody, any female in your family, or it can be you yourself. The problem is the washing of clothes, daily washing of clothes, right? Now see, the first step that that is taken into consideration while we purchase a product or a service is need or problem recognition. Now if we are buying a particular product, we need to understand what is the need of that need of the purchase of that product. Right. So the consumer is likely to recognize a need when he faces the problem. The need or problem recognition among the consumers, it can be of various types. Some consumers may experience the actual state type of problem. This may occur when they recognize a problem in the form of product not performing satisfactorily. Like for example, the housewife. Housewife may realize that the washing machine she was using is not working properly. Right. Another type of need or problem recognition could be the desired state consumer, where the consumer may experience the desire for something new, which again may trigger the decision making process. For instance, we can say a newly married couple may desire to possess a motorcycle, right? So the desired state of consumer will be the starting for the consumer to become involved in a decision making process. Now here I have taken the example of washing machine. So there are females in our houses, in a house there who wash the clothes daily. Now the need is that maybe there is an issue, there is a health issue with your mother who is washing clothes. She is not able to wash the clothes by her hands. There can be any other reason. There can be the reason that they want to purchase a good technology washing machine which requires less maintenance, which has a good after sale service, and they do not acquire more space, which is pocket friendly, which is quite safe if we have children or pets at our homes, and also which is very comfortable. Maybe a mother is it should not happen, but then maybe if she is facing a problem of arthritis, it might be difficult for her to bend down and use the front loading washing machine. So you need to purchase the top loading washing machine, right? So we also have to look at the comfort of our parents or the person who is washing the clothes. Now the second thing which is the second part of the process is information search. Once we decide that what do we have to purchase, we go for the information search. Now this can happen, in two types. Like if you are not aware about the product, if you have not used it earlier, if you are using it for the first time, you go for the active information search. You search for the information very actively, and if you have been using it, you generally have most of the ideas that what kind of a product it should be. Therefore, you are not very much concerned about about searching the information, but then yes, you get involved in the information search. Now this information search can be internal. Internal includes your memory, or it is based on the experience, your family, your friends. You might ask your friends, you might ask your family, you might discuss with your family, relatives, right? You will have to search for the information from the magazines or media, or you can go to the respective company sites and find out. Right. Then we also get into the external information search, like word of mouth. You must have heard anybody saying, yes, that particular product is, that particular washing machine is very good. So the word of mouth, as we know, spreads fast. Right. Media and all, these are also the store. These are also the store visits, trials. These are also the examples of your information search. Now, before the purchase, during this stage, the consumer recognizing the need that requires to be satisfied, now is engaged in the information seeking process. Now, in case of having been satisfied with the product in the past, the consumer will make a choice without going for the extensive search for information. And on the other hand, in case of no prior experience, the consumer will go on an elaborate information seeking process before making a particular choice. Consumer might be influenced by his internal psychological fields before being engaged in external search for information. So very often the past experience plays a relevant role in deciding the extent of information that will be sought by the consumer. If the past experience is good, less will be external information sought by the consumer to reach the decision, right? So there are certain factors that might influence the information search process of a customer. This is the process which is you need to this is the step in which you need to evaluate lots of information. Now in the previous step in the information search, the customer wants to buy a particular washing machine, and they go for the information search about the washing machines. So what all brands do we have in the market, what all things we need to understand about that product and all. Now this is a evaluation of alternatives is the step where we evaluate the available alternatives in the market. We need, since we have to purchase only one product, one unit, therefore we will evaluate, we will compare that what all alternatives are available, what all alternatives are good, and there are certain points at which the comparison has to be done. I suppose if I go for purchase a washing machine, the total set available in the market is the washing machine. There are many brands which are available, right? So that would be termed as the total set. Now we have the awareness set. There are many brands, and there are certain brands which we are not aware of, but there are certain brands which we are aware, like Whirlpool, IFB. We have heard the names earlier also, right? So we are aware that these brands like Whirlpool, IFB, Onida, BPL, Samsung, Bosch, Videocon, Haier, Godrej, Intex, Panasonic, Lloyd, they all are available in the LG, they are all available in the market. But the thing is that we have to consider only few of them. We cannot consider all, right? Maybe there can be certain reasons of not considering certain sets. Like the usual human tendency is to select the brand from the sample of all possible brands. Now the evaluation of alternatives is carried out by using two types of information, which is the evoked set, the list of brands from which they plan to make the selection, and two, we can say the criteria used to evaluate each brand, right? So the evoked set refers to the specific brand the consumer considers while making a purchase within a product category, and usually consumer evoked set will comprise of only a few brands. Now this is the consideration set that we are talking about, right? So the consideration out of all these awareness sets, I am considering few alternatives available. Like I have considered Whirlpool, IFB, BPL, Samsung, Bosch, Panasonic, Lloyd and LG. This is what I am considering, but still I am not going to purchase all. I need to decide, I need to eradicate those brands also which I am not happy with, which I don't like. There can be any number of reasons for that. Maybe I don't like the Chinese brand, maybe I have heard people saying something negative about a particular brand, therefore I will eradicate that brand. So the decision set which I will the brands which I will which I will decide upon, out of which I will decide upon will be Whirlpool, IFB, Samsung, Bosch and LG. But there is only one brand or one product that I have to purchase. So finally I go for the brand that is IFB. So there were many there were many things that were supposed to be talked about, compared. The comparison is between the technical specifications, the quality, the loading, front loading or top loading, or we can also say We need to compare about the warranty, what is the purchasing, the price, we can say the price of the product, and also the mode of payment. What will be the mode of payment, which is a very important thing. Is it the pocket friendly? And if it is pocket friendly, then what would be the mode of payment in case I don't have cash? Is the company or is the store ready to take the cash, or is it ready to do they have the whether they have the EMI options or not? Right. So we need we compare on all these points. Then before making a purchase decision, before the purchase intention, since we have not made any purchase, and between evaluation and alternatives, there are few steps which might change your decision. Now there are several factors that these are the steps between the evaluation of alternatives and purchase decision. There are certain factors which might change your decision. Suppose I have decided to purchase a washing machine, but still I have not purchased, and all of a sudden there are some relatives which come and say, oh, are you trying to purchase, are you have you decided to purchase IFB? It is not that good. You know, this kind of attitude of others, it might change my decision. It might impact my decision. I'm not saying that it might impact negatively, but it can impact positively as well, right? Which might, the positive impact might help me to make my purchase very quickly. Or there can be certain factors like certain unanticipated situational factors. Let me take an example of the pandemic situation. Suppose you are going to purchase a washing machine, and all of a sudden you come to know that your company has asked you to work from home, that too on half salary. As I told you in the beginning that we are from the middle class, you are from a middle class family, and a person is earning only 40,000 rupees. So if he works for half of the salary, that is 20,000, there are certain other things apart from purchasing a product like washing machine which would be more essential for him. So they might delay the decision for a certain period of time. They might change their mind that they will not purchase the product at this point of time. They can do it later on. So these are the things which might influence your decision. And once you purchase the product, suppose everything goes all right, and once you purchase a product, before purchasing a product, we behave differently. During the purchase of the product, we show our different behaviors. We means consumers or customers over here. And also, post-purchase behavior is also different. Like suppose you have purchased a product. If you are happy with the product, what do? If I am happy with the washing machine, I'll keep it. If I'm not, I'll say good things about it. My word of mouth would be very good, which will spread fast. And if I'm not satisfied, my word of mouth would be bad, negative, which will travel more faster than the good ones. If I'm not happy, then I will get rid of, either I will get rid of it, I will dispose it temporarily, or how do I dispose it temporarily? I will give it to somebody, I will rent it, or if I don't want to do that, I might get rid of it permanently. I'll sell it, I'll give it away, I'll trade it, I'll throw it away. Although this doesn't happen, but then still. And if I'm happy with it, obviously, if I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I'll say good words, I'll use it for the original purpose. And the original purpose is washing the clothes. Right? Even though I'm not using it, I might use it for some other purpose. I might use it to store the clothes, but still I am using it. Right? So this is the post-purchase behavior of the customer. Now this is how the decision making process, consumer buying decision making process takes place. That is all for the day. Thank you so much, and we shall come up with another topic next time. Thank you.